Let's be real, shall we? Dating after divorce is a little bit of a nightmare sometimes. And it's really, really hard if you're a man. Okay.
Mhm.
So today's episode is for my special male viewers, my male hotties, if you
Mhm.
will. And if you don't know me, I'm Kia. I'm the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast and Hot Topics Live podcast, this podcast. And this is my special episode, Dating After Divorce series. So I haven't been live in a little minute, so I wanted to come live and just remind you that um, I'm here. So set your notifications so you know that when I come live, because I never know when I'm going to be live. So you want to set your notifications. Also, like, share, and subscribe. So this episode might help someone. And you might know a friend who could benefit from this information. So get ready because, from a woman's perspective, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, not only to get a woman, a good woman, but keep her, right? And that's what we want to do after we've taken our time to heal after our divorce or our long-term committed relationship, right? We need a little minute. And then it's good to get back out there. It's good to get back out there and put yourself back out there and start dating. But in this new digital landscape, I've been doing these episodes for, oh my gosh, like a year now. And I have been in the game for a year and I've talked to so many men. I've met so many men. Some of them have become my friends and we have learned a lot together. One of
Mhm.
my friends, Fawad, comes on this podcast now. He's an influencer on Instagram and a photographer. And he is just a really cool guy. And he comes on this podcast too, and we have a dialogue from a male and female's perspective. So you might get a lot from that. And I know a large percentage of my audience is male. So I wanted to come on here and do this episode. And ladies, if you're watching, drop a comment if you agree or disagree or anything you want to add to what I am talking about today. So, shall we? Shall we get into it? All right, let's do just that. So, let's start at meeting a woman. I come from a different time where men were not afraid to approach a woman, and a woman would also approach a man, and that was considered totally acceptable and even girl power, like woman empowerment, to go up to a man that you liked and tell him you liked him and even ask him out. I have certainly done it many times. So I know how nerve wracking it can be to approach a stranger that you find attractive and try to connect with them and get to know them in person. But I want to encourage you to do that. It's June right now. It's summertime. What better time to go out and start meeting people out and about, right? So, go do some of your favorite stuff. Go with your boys, go with your girls, but don't be so engrossed in conversations with your friends that you're not looking around. The first thing you got to do is be aware of your surroundings and be open to look at people, right? And let them see you seeing them. And then go from their body language as to what you want to do to proceed, right? So if you're a guy and you're checking out a girl, you don't want to like be predatory, okay? Like don't be a predator. Okay, but just like look at her, like, and look away and maybe look back and look away. It's playful, it's flirtatious, right? Maybe look a little bit longer than you would normally just glance at a person, see if you can catch her eye. And if she looks at you, ladies, I know we forget how to flirt in person, but smile at him. Gaze at him a little bit longer. Let that lock eye happen for just a split second longer than it would be just looking around or just casually. Also, if you're not interested, ladies, do not catch his eye. If you do look at him in the eye, look away, right? Quickly. So he gets the hint. Move your body language. Body language tells a lot. Move your body language away, right? Turn and talk to your friends. Make it obvious that you're not really interested. But if you are, you should smile. Just a little bit, not crazy, just a little smile. And that is kind of an invitation so that he knows that maybe he can approach you. Maybe you might want to even do that again. Like he looks at you again, you look at him again, you smile a little longer, you know, gonna do a hair movement. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that you can do in person in real life if you're meeting someone at a place. Okay. And then, gentlemen, fellas, my male hotties, go up to that woman. We want you to come up to us. Okay. That is my phone going off. It always goes off when I'm live. Okay. So come up to us, come up, right? If you send a drink over, don't just send the drink and never say anything. I used to have drinks piled up at a table in front of me of guys that would send me a drink and never even say anything to me. Like, do you think you're gonna send me the drink and I'm gonna get up and come up to you? A lot of times that's not gonna happen. Maybe sometimes, but you're like wasting your money. Don't do that. Like, send the drink, she accepts the drink. Go approach her. Okay, now I know that this is the hard part, unless you're a pickup artist, but going up to a woman to approach her the right way is really, really important. Let me tell you what, because if a man approaches me the wrong way, it will just kill all the attraction. And the number one thing you need for a woman to connect with you and fall in love with you and stay in love with you is attraction. So, if she's attracted enough to smile at you and give you that sort of green light to come forward, especially if it's happened twice, then approach her, go up to her and say, "Can I have a moment of your time?" That's a great one. And there's lots of things you can say. That's not the only thing to say, but there's a lots of things you can say to approach a woman the correct way. But make sure it's polite, make sure it's respectful, charming, right? And then you start a conversation with her. Yeah, and just have a simple conversation like the kind you would have if you were on a dating app where you're trying to like get to know somebody. I know it's hard because we were in the pandemic and now we got all these dating apps and it's so easy to forget how to talk to people. But this is an important social skill. And I know we're all internet and like reels and TikToks and shorts, and like we don't talk to each other. We're always on our phones, but we can't lose these human skills, you guys. So talk to someone, get to know them, ask them questions, maybe think up some questions you can ask before, you start talking to a female. Because if she's attracted to you, she's going to forgive a lot of little mistakes that you might make in those initial conversations, let me tell you. Okay, so this is important. And I talked about this in an earlier episode. Would you date you? So make sure you're attractive. Make sure you look good. Your fit is put together. You're smelling good. Women love a man who smells good. Get familiar with cologne and find what scents work with your natural essence, right? A man that smells so good, ooh, that is just take a 5 to an 11, okay? So, I do hate to rate people like that, but you get my point, okay? So, looking good, smelling good, shoes fit, you know, and then you're talking to this woman and you're having a conversation with her. And then after you have that conversation with her, get her number. And then once you get her number, the next day, text her or call her and tell her something nice like, I really enjoyed meeting you. It was great to talk to you, you know, and then ask her out. Don't waste time texting all day, texting for days, for a week. I once was talking to this guy actually not that long ago. He was so adorable. And he had such a good personality and he was good looking and he was super tall, but he just kept talking to me on text and I don't like to do that. And I gave it some time, but days were going by and he didn't ask me out. And I was giving him prompts, like trying to use my feminine energy to get him to get to that point. And I'm sure he was just really nervous, but I lost interest because I don't want to be texting. And a lot of women don't want to be texting. And a lot of men don't want to be texting all day, every day, or for days and days and days in a row. The point is to meet and then meet in person and to get to know each other in person, right? That is the whole point, to go from talking just a little bit to seeing each other, right? And deciding in person if you're liking to get to know that person more and more in person. That's the whole point. So be decisive. Ask that woman out. None of this, we're going to go Dutch unless you want to be friends. If we're friends, we can go Dutch. If you're taking a woman out on a date that is a valuable woman that you actually want to get to know and potentially have a relationship with, spend the money, make the investment, because women are looking for that. Let me tell you, we are looking to see if you're willing to invest in us, because believe me, I'm not trying to be one sided. I'm not trying to be, any type of way. I don't believe in all of this divisiveness between men and women. I think we need each other and we're best together. That's my personal belief. Okay. I think we should rule the world together, play to each other's strengths and weaknesses. None of this divisiveness. But the point I'm trying to make is that if I'm going to invest in you, I need you to invest in me. And a lot of women, most women, believe that and feel like that. Okay. And so don't be afraid to be like direct and sure about what you want and about the plans. Make the plans. Be like, I want to pay for your dinner tonight. I'd love to take you to dinner tonight. I'd love to take you to lunch tomorrow. I'd love to take you for a coffee. I'd love to get your breakfast, you know? And then even better, if you can give her details of like where you're going to take her, what you're going to be doing. And I mean, for even every date after that, like tell her, so that she's prepared what you're going to be doing, what she should wear. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you don't have to dictate what she's going to wear, but I mean, like, we're going to go rock climbing. So you're going to want to be in workout gear. We're going to go whitewater rafting. So you're going to want to dress appropriate for that. Make sure you're comfortable, you know, that kind of information, like provide her those details. We're going to go out to a really nice restaurant. Make sure you're dressed to impress, like let her know. Right. And that way she can be prepared. Okay. And when you're showing up, right? And be quick about it. Like, don't let too many days go by, because I definitely have met some really awesome guys and they have like sort of faltered on like being consistent in the way they show up. And women, let me tell you what, we need consistency, clarity, and a little bit of reassurance sometimes. Don't be afraid to let a woman know that you are really looking forward to seeing her, but you are very busy, but you have time next week on Wednesday at 4 p.m. And could she pencil you in for that day? Like, be so that she knows that you are not just telling her you're busy and you're full of shit. Okay. Like really, because it's kind of a red flag or a pink flag maybe for women when a guy is like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. That means you're not interested to most women. So you have to be careful about how you handle that. A woman might need a little bit of reassurance to let her know, like not in a needy way, but just in a way of consideration. You know what I mean? So consider that, all right, as a way that it will impact a woman, that she feels appreciative, right? And you want her to feel appreciative towards you because that's of the feminine role. That's her and her soft feminine energy, being appreciative of how you're showing up, charming, but yet gentlemanly, but yet open to what her preferences are and willing to do those, right? As you get to know her, you'll know what those are. So you just show up in that way, right? And I'm not telling you to not be who you are, because you should be who you are so she can fall for the person who you are and not start doing stuff. And this has happened to me more times than I can tell you, that a guy is attracted to me, probably wants to sleep with me. I get it. I know. But he shows up in a way doing all the things he thinks that I want and thinks that he should do. but they aren't who he really are, so he can't keep it up. And eventually, the cracks are going to show, and eventually, the mask is going to drop, and eventually, he's going to fall off because he can't keep it up. And I get it. I understand. I do. But I don't like it. It makes me think much less of you. So, for all women, show up as who you are. If you're not what that woman's looking for, you've got to own that and, let someone else have a chance. You know what I mean? So show up in a beautiful way with consideration for her and be a man that has his shit together. Like, be a man who is worth being admired because when a woman admires you, she will fall for you, especially if she's attracted to you. So having those two things working for you, being attractive and being admirable, a man who is of his word, who is direct, who is not afraid to provide, like, I'm taking you out to dinner, I'm taking you on these dates, and willing to invest in her. And she can see that you make good decisions in your life. She can see that you are, walking on the outside of the street, you're doing things to show her that you're protective, not like overprotective or like possessive. That's different. But like you are actually trying to be the man in her life. You are trying to make sure she is safe emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually. Like you are her protector. You're also going to provide for her, and I'm not saying you're going to pay for everything all the time. I'm just saying that you're willing to make those investments in her, right? She's going to feel safe and secure. If she can admire, your work, maybe you're not the CEO of a company or you're like this big multimillionaire. A lot of women are not going to end up with those guys, sorry to tell you. But if you're a good guy with a great job and you bring it home money and you're a hard worker and you know how to be emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, and you know how to show up in your beautiful masculine energy that's not toxic or unless I don't like that, unhealthy or unhealed, right? We've rephrased that. And so if you're going to do that, she's going to be able to admire you. And if she admires you, if you show up being willing to be emotionally vulnerable and emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent, meaning it's not, you don't just know like what the hooks are, like, oh, I know the love languages and I know uh my attachment style, and you know this logically, but you're not embodying it because it'll show. I've been through that too. Okay, a lot of people go onto the spiritual bandwagon and they use that to pull chicks in, and then it's not who they really are. It will show. It will show. Okay. So if you're this guy, and if you're not this guy, let's think about the things you can do to become this guy because it's not impossible for you. It's a choice. And once you choose to be that guy that a woman can admire, however that means for you or the woman in your life or the woman you'd like to have in your life, doesn't mean you have to be this multimillionaire, right? It just means you have to be a good man who is willing to show up and be a team player. Maybe you're not a multimillionaire, but you have a great job, but you don't mind sharing the domestic labor, even if she's a stay-home mom or a home wife or a trad wife. I did a whole episode about that a couple weeks ago. You can find that on my playlist or on the Hot Topics Live channel. So I was that a couple times. It didn't work out for me, but other women, it works out for beautifully, So if you're that guy and you want to have this amazing woman, then you don't have to be a multimillionaire, but you just have to be a good guy, right? You have to be someone she can admire, that she can feel safe with, and not just physically. I cannot stress that enough. It has to be emotionally. You have to be willing to be a little bit vulnerable and honest with your own feelings and your own thoughts and open up to her. I will be the first to admit I am a sucker for a man who will open up to me with vulnerability and in his emotions, right? And he's being real. That will just win my heart every time, right? And someone who can hold space for my emotions, even when they're big, right? And they're not going to just run away and they're not going to feel overwhelmed. Okay, that makes me feel incredibly safe. And a lot of women feel the same way. They want to know that you are going to care for them and love them in all of their phases and dimensions. And you know, we have many. Okay. So, that being said, if you are a man who can show up in your beautiful authenticity and your vulnerability, and I know that takes trust. I'm not saying you're going to do it like bare your soul the first date, but I'm saying, if you care about the woman and you want to build with that woman a little bit at a time, right? Just so she can see that in you and the things that you talk about, how you are and what you want to do for her, you actually do. So you're a man of your word. She's going to admire you. And like I said, if she is attracted, then she is going to be ready to fall in love with you. Okay. If she's attracted to you and you're admirable, that's great. Now, if you really want to make this woman fall in love with you, then you have to be adoring. That goes along with the little reassurances. Just because she might be a little bit anxious or a little bit clingy doesn't make her bad, right? She just needs a little bit more reassurance than the rest of us. Okay. So if you're going to go away or you can't text all day, if you're going to be busy, you just be open with. You give her a little bit more information than you would maybe another woman who that doesn't affect as much, right? So you might say, "Hey, I'm going to be working a lot for the next few days. I'll text you when I can, but I will be looking forward to spending time with you on this day at this time." And then you do. See, the and then you do is the really important part. Okay. It's just like an example, but I know you're all very intelligent, so you get it. And so that's an example, right? And you will adore her by telling her, get not just through words, but through actions, like through being affectionate and also telling her how beautiful she looks and how you appreciate the things that she does for you. But just make her feel almost like a princess, like make her feel wanted and valued in your life, right? And that will make a woman really fall in love with you. Like she needs to hear and feel and see through your actions that you really value her and want her and are protective of her in a healthy way in your life. If you do those three things, okay, she will fall in love with you at some stage. And if you continue to nurture the relationship and do some things like healthy conflict resolution, the relationship can thrive. Because a lot of us, we might go into our last one or two or maybe three more relationships for the rest of our life. Okay. Especially if you're after 35, let's just say. So you want to be considering how to maintain a relationship too. And you want that deep intimacy. And that deep intimacy comes for a woman through conversation. So talk to her and actually listen to her and remember things. And even if you don't remember everything, here's a hack. Remember some things and then just bring it up to her again. And that will really make her feel like she's being heard and really see her and tell her what you're seeing about her, right? It's not just about, oh, I know how you like your coffee, right? Or I know what to get you from the store. Those things matter. They do. But it's other things too, emotional things. So these deep conversations, all the cuddling, all the kissing. One of the favorite guys that I dated, it didn't work out with him, unfortunately, but one of these guys that I dated was not my type. He was not my type. He was cute, but he was not my type. Okay. And I dated him for a while too, for like a month or a little bit longer, because he was so sweet and he was so affectionate. He wasn't just a nice guy, he was kind. That's how he showed up. And he listened to me and we had great conversations. But the icing on the cake, and he was protective and he made me feel safe, right? But he was so affectionate. He was always touching me. And some women, they don't like that. So you have to know the woman, right? You have to understand what she likes. But for me, he was always like caressing me or touching my hair. Like if my hair was messed up, he'd fix it for me. There's like those little gestures were so sweet. And I thought he was so adorable. So here's a bonus. If the woman adores you, she will love you and she will stay with you. She has to adore you. And for her to adore you is through those sweet gestures, through that physical touch. Women love oxytocin. That's our favorite chemical. Okay. We get it a lot through sex. Okay. But we also get it through cuddling. So, and touching and caressing and like kissing her on the face, on the head. Like it doesn't have to be sexual. Okay, it can be, but it doesn't have to be all the time, right? So that is an important way for her to adore you. If you're talking these conversations, if you're remembering little things about her, if you're making her feel adored and appreciated, she's going to love you. And especially if she's attracted to you. So if you're married right now, you happened upon this, or you just recently divorced and you realize, like, holy crap, I let myself go in that marriage. Don't do it. This is your warning. Do not let yourself go just because you're married. Men and women alike, stay on your attractiveness game for the long haul. I'm sorry, you cannot drop it. You have to stay on it. It's self-love. Love yourself enough to look good to you, and you will look good to your partner. And if you don't feel good about yourself, you have to take action. You have to put a plan in place and actually take the steps, even if they're baby steps, little steps, to make yourself feel good and feel beautiful, sexy, hot, fit, whatever it is to you. You got to do it so that you can show your partner that you love yourself enough to do it, number one. And number two, that they will still continue to find you attractive. Because if they don't, the relationship's going to fail at some point. And if you're not feeling adored, or she's not feeling adored, that relationship's going to fail at some point, right? And if she can't admire you, you fall off the wagon, you spin out of control, you start making bad choices, you start leading both of your lives into a spiral, she's gonna, it's rare like that she will continue to admire you. And at some point, maybe not right away, that relationship's going to break down. So what do we have? Adoring each other, attraction, and admiration. Admiration. It doesn't hurt if you admire her too. You should. These could go both ways, right? But I'm talking from the woman's perspective to the guys. And the last most important thing that I want to talk about is we talked about intimacy and oxytocin, right? That woman needs that oxytocin. And through cuddling and holding hands and deep conversations, it's going to spike up for her, right? Oh, and here's a hack. If you really want to keep your relationship really juicy and exciting for you towards your woman, plan ways for you guys to solve problems together, to like achieve a goal together. Okay? Like teamwork, seriously. You can make cleaning the kitchen a team activity that you accomplish together, and that will boost your vasopressin, and you will be more connected to your partner. So find ways. You can even do that in the bedroom. Like, we want to have like 7 orgasms. I'm going to give you 7 orgasms. Like, we're going to do it. And then you guys high five, and it's like a team effort, right? Like, do that. And it will be so good for you as a man. I promise. That's special for you. And speaking of sex and intimacy, you have to stay on it. I mean, you have to understand that women aren't like porn stars. We're not really like that. Okay. So be open to educating yourself about what a woman really wants in the bedroom. Talk to your partner. Have those conversations. Be really open about it. This stigma around it is destroying marriages. You've got to have that open communication. Make it fun, make it playful. But if you're going to be in a long term committed relationship or marriage, this has to stay exciting or it's going to get boring and it's going to deteriorate the love in the relationship. So be open to that. Have those conversations, make it fun and playful and juicy in every way. And she should be wanting to make sure that you are receiving the pleasure in the ways that you want to have it too. This is a team effort. So you have to work together to prioritize each other's pleasure, plain and simple. And that way, you will always have a fun sex life. And if you have a fun sex life because she, A, thinks you're hot, she's attracted to you, you smell amazing, and you treat her so good, she feels so adored all the time, and you show that you're a good leader and that you can protect and provide for her, she's going to love you. She's going to love you. And you're a team player. You don't mind doing domestic labor. And if you don't do domestic labor, you are her biggest cheerleader and supporter, or you provide someone to do domestic labor for her so that she's not overwhelmed, not overworked, not stressed out all the time, or someone to help with the kids. If you've got it like that, do that. If you don't, then you've got to step up and be a team player and help her. And she will always value you and be thankful for that help, or she should be. Or she should be. If she's not, there's something else missing in those things that I talked about. So I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that this helped you, but this is from me, a woman, my perspective on how you can meet up with a woman and get her to fall in love with you and to keep her in love with you for long term. And now remember, you need to do homework. If you don't know about emotional intelligence, you've got to start Googling it. Ask ChatGPT or Gemini or somebody. Like, start learning somewhere, some way, and understanding how to use these tools to help your relationship. Being emotionally mature and understanding where your wounds come from and why you show up the way you do is also really important. I am not affiliated with the personal development school, but I love Thais Gibson's content and I advise you to go check it out. You will learn a lot about attachment styles and core wounds and maybe even how to heal that stuff. There's a lot of resources out here, from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok, on all of these things. There's no excuse. So go and learn and make yourself that man that she can admire, that is open to showing up with authenticity and vulnerability and being that masculine, protective man, as well as a man who doesn't mind shedding a tear, because that's also strength. And you're a good leader. You make good decisions. You're the master of your life. Well, then, she will really love you. So I hope this helped. Remember, set your notifications so you know when I come live. And before I go, I really want to remind you that you can find me on all of these places. Follow along. My Instagram for Hot Topics Live podcast is flourishing. We're finally at 10.3K followers. Lots of views coming, lots of likes coming. It's happening, you guys. So go over there and support the podcast. And remember, if you want to see any of my pinup, if you like sexy pictures, you like pretty pictures of women, and you like me, you can see me. Oh, that's me. That's me. This is my last cover. I actually just submitted to another Retro Lovely Magazine's Chocolate Cheesecake Special Edition. The founder actually asked me to put pictures in, so I did. And they were accepted. So I'm going to be in my 8th pinup magazine. Let's see. I have a few here. right? I'll show you really quickly. I don't have all of them here, but like I'm in this one, and you can find links in my bio. And once you go to MagCloud, under Retro Lovely magazine, you can type in my name, Kia, Kia, like the car, and my magazine should come up. So you can get them if you want them in print like this, or you can get them in digital. This is my first ever cover. It's for Halloween. If you like steampunk, you got that. And this is my first ever appearance in pinup. It was in chocolate cheesecake. This is obviously not me. This is someone called Rockabilly Barbie, and she's amazing. I love her. She also does burlesque, which I also love. If you're in Portland, you might catch me at a burlesque show sooner or later, or from time to time, I should say. So yeah, Rockabilly Barbie, go follow her too. She's amazing. And so I'm in here, and that was my first ever pinup appearance. So I'm really proud of that work. And so you can see that on @Creativity. And then, of course, follow the Female Veterans Podcast, because veterans. So, if you're watching live, don't ever be shy. Drop a comment, get in the conversation. I really care about what you think. And also, let me know some feedback on this episode. What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? And I also want to thank you for being the kindest, supportive followers, subscribers on YouTube and Instagram who only ever leave me the nicest comments. I so appreciate that. I really appreciate it so much. And one more thing before I wrap it up, I can't forget my sponsors. Okay, I have 2 sponsors right now, and I have some more in the works. So Mental Health Code on Instagram. Tell them Kia sent you. There's nothing for you to do, nothing I'm selling. I'm just spreading the word. Mental health is critically important, especially now in these unprecedented times that we're living in. So if you are struggling, you should definitely go to Mental Health Code. This guy, Caesar, he puts on great courses. Go check them out. He's getting lots of crazy good feedback. You can buy one if you want, but go and follow that resource. It has lots of great information that can help you. And as well as Eris Health is one of my sponsors. Eris, you can follow on Instagram as well. Again, I'm not selling anything. Mental health is incredibly important. And I'm just promoting these causes that matter to me and are close to my heart. Because like I said, mental health is incredibly important, and a lot of people are struggling, especially veterans. So definitely go support them. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and set your notification so you know when I come live, because I don't even know when I'm live half the time. But I am coming live with my friend Fawad next week. We're going to talk more about relationship stuff because you guys seem to really like that. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.